Alright, so on to Scream 2, which came out in 1997. Now, if you haven't seen my first review of the first film, I mentioned that I'm not a big fan of it. But I do think it's a decent film. This one, of course, takes place 2 years after the first film. Sidney's now, college life, gone out of high school, decides to go to college, and trying to forget about what happened. And it's cool how, Randy, who's the last survivor of her friends, really, of the original crew. He's the only her and him are the only ones of that crew. Of course, you have Dewey, who was the brother of Sidney's one of her best friends. I did like their relationship, where he more of a surrogate brother to her and Randy. Randy, of course, is still his, horror movie expert, and they also talk about sequels, and originals are always better than the sequels. I beg to differ. But, of course, Ghostface comes back with a new string of kills. This time around, the kills in the first film were decent. Growing up, I watched the second one more than the original, funny enough. Like, I saw the original, probably not as much, but I saw Scream 2 a lot more. And then, of course, Scream 4. And then eventually Scream 3, which I love. I know that one's like the black sheep of the franchise. I don't care. But, yeah, this one, I like elements of... the acting's fine. Everybody does pretty good. Gal, pretty much Wes Craven comes back to direct. Courtney Cox comes back. Neve Campbell. Everybody comes back. Pretty much. I did like her character where she was like unlikable in the first film. She starts to sorta actually become more of a decent person, almost like an anti-hero character in a way. She's still out for herself, but there's almost a bit of a character. I don't know how to explain it, but I thought they tried to make her character not as evil as the first time around. Her scenes with Dewey were fine. I did like. Neve Campbell, of course, she does really good here, as she did in the first film. Of course, I did like how she's trying to survive. She's trying to move on with stuff, and now these new random college kills are coming back. Even the opening with Jada Pinkett, and I don't know who the guy she is with is, but that scene was fine, where they're going to the premiere of the Stab film, pretty much based off Gail Weathers' book, based off real life events of the first film, of course. But yeah, I didn't mind this one. Gary O'Connell is also in there. He plays the boyfriend of Sidney. I recognize him from Kangaroo Jack, because I love Kangaroo Jack. So every time I saw him, it was Charlie. Same with Anthony Anderson, Scream 4. Charlie and what is Lewis? If anybody's a fan of Kangaroo Jack, put my jacket on the back of a dead kangaroo, and now he's hopping away. Anyway, but yeah, there's like not really a subplot of the first film, but you have this character Cotton, who they mentioned in the first film, where pretty much he was framed. He was looked at as the murderer of Sidney's mother, and that's why. So he went to jail. Now he's out because he's proven innocent from pretty much Billy and Stu being the two people that framed him. And they do name drop Billy and Stu a good decent amount, like, which I thought I liked because of the continuity with the sequel. It's like, and so you can actually watch this one with the first film as well, which I like. I don't like when sequels barely like touch on major events of the first film, or details anyway. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this: is it better than the first film? I mean, I would say yeah, because again, I'm not a big fan of the first film, so kind of overall, or I don't even want to say by default it's better, but I liked, and even Randy, like his character, he's still pining over Sidney, still wishes, he could be that guy for her, and she'll never know. She never finds that out, which is kind of sad. But I think he would have been a better guy for her than Jerry O'Connell. I mean, his character's not bad, but there's scenes where like they're trying to put him as like a red herring, which I thought, come on. I'm not really trying to buy Jerry O'Connell as like the killer. But yeah, pretty much the killers are the one guy in the group, the creepy Mickey guy, who hits on the black chick of the group. Sarah Michelle Gellar from the Grudge films, from Buffy. She's in this for a scene or two. She gets killed pretty decently. She gets thrown off the top of the house or whatever, off the deck or whatever. But yeah, Jerry O'Connell dies. But pretty much, Cotton is like an oddball character. Like they try to fake out Dewey's death. I wonder if they did originally want to kill him off, but then fans like him, so I guess they got bad reception. So like, you know what? We'll reshoot some stuff and put him back in this or something. And then the only part really I got bored of was the part where Sidney and her black friend, I can't remember her name, so I'm calling her black friend. Her and her go to a secret location because they're trying to get out of town with the two undercover security, whatever they are, CIA or whatever. That scene where you have Ghostface, driving and, and then they gotta climb over them and, I was trying to be suspenseful, and I get that, but I don't know, like, I wasn't really that into it. But yeah, you find out pretty much Cotton is a okay character. Like, he's not really a bad guy. He just got mixed up, and he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But then his character throughout the movie that he's in it, that he pops up, like, he's out for himself as well, where he wants to get his 15 minutes of fame and his story out there, and he wants a Diane Sawyer interview along with Sidney Prescott with him, and but yeah, he saves the day at the end, and I did like how Sidney, she shoots one of the killers in the head just to make sure, and then walks off awesomely. But yeah, you find out Billy's mom, I guess, she was one of the killers. She wanted revenge for her son, so pretty much it's adjacent, or it's a Mrs. Voorhees type thing here. But yeah, Randy's death was like a lot of people. It seems like a lot of fans hate the fact that Wes Craven killed his character off, because he was like really one of the best characters in the franchise. In the first two films, or in the first film and in the second film that he was in it. Even Wes Craven, I guess, I think he even regretted killing him off. He wishes that he didn't. But I didn't mind the character. I would have liked if he lived, but then, you gotta kill off characters that we love sometimes. That's how you build stakes. But I did like his whole. One of the girls asked him, "What would you do for a sequel or whatever, if you could, for a horror or whatever?" He's like, "I would have the geek or nerd get the girl at the end or whatever." But no, again, not happening for Randy, sadly. Yeah, this movie is. You can tell it is a 90s film. Though I don't know, I thought, because they're still using VCRs and all that, and they even say VCR at one point. One guy has a camcorder, old school camcorder, and they even have old school cell phones, cheap looking cell phones. But yeah, this one is, I guess, one of a fan favorite, I guess, of the four, or of the three, of the trilogy anyway. Also, I don't think I'll be able to edit this properly, because I have Scream 4 already being rendered, and I'm waiting for that to get done, so I'm just gonna upload this as it is, so forgive me for not adding my outro and intro stuff. But yeah, my thoughts on Scream 2. It's not a bad film. I do think it's decent. It's just as, I would say it's better than the first film, at least for me, because I do like the idea of Sidney. They're in a new town, or new setting. They don't even go back. I don't even think they go back to Woods. They don't go back to Barrow, whatever that town's name is. They don't go back there. They mention it. I did like that, how they change it up. I do like the Dewey and Gale relationship that's building throughout. I do like the ending where, again, she shoots the crazy mom of Billy in the head, and then says just to make sure, and then walks off. Really cool. Yeah, then it ends, and Cotton gets his 15 minutes of fame, and reporters are swarming him with questions. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I didn't mind it. Please give this video a like and subscribe, and comment, of course, if you want to, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop more content. Peace and love.